We're live.
know.
Just like
I
that,
know.
yeah. From Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street in Barrie. Hey, Shep.
Hey, how you doing,
How
sweetie?
are you? My God.
I'm doing great. I've missed you since Friday night.
I've missed you, too. Can I say that? Did I just say that?
You
That
just-
I've missed
you
Shep?
just said it.
God.
You said it. I want you to tell me what's going on with Deion Sanders.
Shep, I'm gonna work it. I'm gonna make you beg for it. I'm
Wow.
sorry.
We're not even a minute into the program, and
Shep-
I'm already begging for things. That's
It's over my
great.
head.
Charlotte's going to leave us.
You know, I wouldn't know Deion Sanders if he walked in here.
So if I turned around a half hour ago when you said that to me and said, well, JD, I don't know who he is, you would have given me a blank stare.
Listen, I would have said, I know the name Deion Sanders. I don't know if it's basketball, baseball, football. I don't know. But I know the name Deion Sanders. I know. I've heard the name. I don't know anything about Deion.
He was a hell of a football player,
Deion.
hell of a cornerback, and he's a coach now for the University of Colorado.
The big
There.
news. You
Yeah,
want the big
go
news?
ahead. No,
Just-
I can't wait for you to tell
I'm
me.
just going to tell you.
Yeah.
The big news is
As
that
he scrolls down his sports page.
Don't-
Go ahead.
You don't have to tell Charlotte that. Hold on, it's right here. It's right here, Shep.
I'm gonna
I've
take a
got it.
water
Don't
break.
take a sip. It's
I
right
am
here.
going to.
That's right here. Yeah. Just that.
Has something to do with the mascot, remember?
No, that they've sold out. They have sold out of tickets.
Oh,
Oh.
because it's Deion Sanders.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh.
See, we don't even
You
know if
built
he
that
can...
up. You built that up way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
way.
I'm like,
I'm sorry.
I got excited. I got invested.
because you got to understand, we pass cross. What was that?
Cross
paths
Yeah.
a lot in the course of a day, Charlotte and I.
Yeah.
And we always have good news for each other.
Yeah.
On the sports front.
Sometimes bad news.
Sometimes bad news.
Yeah.
But you're telling me something about Ohio State and the Cleveland Browns and Deion
Yeah.
Sanders, and its tickets are sold out.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna
That's it. That's
gonna make his
tickets are
ego
sold out.
bigger than it already is, because he is one of the biggest egomaniacs
Yeah.
we've ever had in the NFL.
Deion Sanders.
I mean, and that says a lot.
You could not fit him in this studio. And you know what? It's great. You have to play, to be a professional athlete, you have to be extremely confident.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so he doesn't lack that.
Fine line though between confidence and arrogance.
He was, did
Right?
you watch him play much?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, we have a little age
Yeah.
difference here.
Yeah.
He would high step it in doing some, I don't know, I can't do the little, I don't know, hand behind the head, like he was modeling down the runway. I mean, but he was good.
Yeah.
He was good. I'm not going to, I don't know if he's in the Hall
Here
of
it is.
Fame.
Here it is. I knew I'd find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, capacity crowd of 45,000 people at Folsom Field, and they've more than doubled this.
It's because of his name.
Yeah.
And he's proven himself. Where was he? Jackson State.
This is the first time they have sold out in 27 years.
Yes, they don't have a solid football program.
My God.
But here's the other thing. If you're going to be a successful college football coach, half of it is recruiting
Yeah.
and having a
100%.
great recruiting staff. Young men coming out of high school are going to want to go play for Deion Sanders.
Yeah. Right.
They are.
Smart move.
Jackson State, where was he even coaching? I can't even
I don't
remember.
even
Jackson
know.
State something.
We haven't
He was
even-
very good.
We haven't even introduced Charlotte, the
Our
OT.
special guest,
What the hell are we doing?
Charlotte.
We're
We're
jumping
just going
into
to say
Deion
Charlotte.
Sanders before we're even talking about Charlotte.
It's okay. It's okay.
Why?
I get it. I get it.
Introduce this lady, this beautiful lady.
Wonderful person, good friend of mine. We've only known each other a year.
What?
Remember, DJ was 20 years.
Yeah.
Charlotte and I, 1 year.
Yeah.
But it feels like 20 years.
Yeah.
Don't-
We're soul sisters. We are.
Don't make me jealous.
Yeah. The
Don't
fate-
make me
the
jealous.
fate-
I'm already getting jealous.
Fate
Shep.
has laid its hand.
Literally from day one,
Mm-hmm.
talking with Charlotte, and our coworkers could attest to that.
Fast forward a year from now, you think I'll overtake Charlotte?
Oh, that's tough.
It's a valid question.
It's a valid question, but this gal,
Look at we're off to a
that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
I get more face-to-face time though, so I think.
Yes,
I think that's
she
where
does.
I'll.
I mean, we both work extremely hard at our jobs, but we do find time to talk about sports.
yes.
Yes.
Now, is she your OT? What does she do?
Oh, absolutely.
What does she do? What,
No,
occupational therapy.
I'll let her talk about what she does.
So we work at a clinic with
Yep.
like 20,
Therapists,
30 therapists.
Okay.
They're at a day, PT, OTs, and
Yeah.
speech therapists.
right here in Central Vermont.
In Central Vermont. Yep. And so we're hustling and bustling, and Lori keeps our clinic together in one piece.
How so?
I am not a therapist. Let's just put
so?
that out
What does
there.
she do?
Everything. Hey, Lori, do you know where this is? Oh yeah, I'll get you. Okay. Hey, Lori, can you help me with this patient, or can you order this for me, or
Do you ever say, "Hey, Lori, can you empty that trash can and get me a cup of coffee"?
no,
Okay. I'm just asking. No, it's just a question.
no.
Okay.
Oh, that was cute.
So none of that.
No, she's
No.
very respectful
Yeah.
of her elders.
So
I did start exercising with her and another therapist, and I was quick to point out to them, and I've only done it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Worked out with them. I was quick to point out that Charlotte is 25 years younger than I,
Wow.
and the other one is younger than Charlotte.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Right.
but you know, I don't know what they do. They teach me so much at the ripe old age of 57. I've
Yeah.
We
learned
have a good time.
so much in a little over a year working
Right.
with this amazing group, and they are
Yeah.
good people.
Yeah.
They really are good people. I thought I lifted everything right. I thought I did this, that, and the other thing right. First thing Charlotte said is, you're not bending properly.
Well,
you're
let's
not
give it-
lifting properly. We're not going to do it on the air, though. We're not going to show the proper ways to lift.
What's the biz? Let's give some love. Where are you?
Oh no, we do it at work.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got
Yeah.
all of our.
Yeah, but where's work though? We're talking about.
We're not going to say.
We won't say.
I was gonna. I
I don't
wasn't
think
sure.
we can say.
I wasn't
right.
sure. I
Okay.
wasn't sure.
All right.
I didn't.
We'll
I
find
didn't
out.
go-
We'll find out. and
Yeah,
we'll let
we'll
you-
find out,
we'll let
and
you
I'll
know.
let you know.
All right.
But Charlotte she
knows her
they
stuff.
all are so good.
Okay.
I get
We
to
spent a
learn
lot of money to
from
do
them.
it.
Yeah.
I do a lot of the purchasing, so I get to buy whatever they want.
Wow.
I learn from them. I sit in with some of the patients they're with. It's an education for me, and I feel like I literally feel, without sounding corny, reborn again because of what I get to learn.
Well, that's
And,
that's cool.
You know, I love sports. Been a coach for 25 years, and I get to learn from these guys now, and they're so good at teaching me, explaining. And it's just been great. It's just been great. So people come into your lives for a reason.
Yeah.
And this gal did. And her and I talking about sports, I honestly feel like she is my younger sister.
Wow.
And that we literally have just talked sports our whole life together.
So she follows you with NFL, with NBA.
She
with,
teaches me about Major League Baseball.
Baseball?
And I thought I knew baseball.
Okay.
It really did. And we started out. We started out because it was baseball season last year, 2022. Huge Met fan.
And I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, and she looked at me like I was batshit crazy, and she's
Yes.
like, "You're a Mets fan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a lot of heartaches, a lot of heartaches." So like the next day, and correct me if I'm wrong with this story, she's like, "So who's your football team?" And I said, "Well, it's the Miami Dolphins." And she looked at me like, and she basically said to me,
Are you a masochist?
"Yeah, what is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Okay, so yeah." I'm like, "Well, a lot
That
of
was the
heartaches."
beginning of the friendship,
that
right
was
there.
it, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Oh, huge Yankee fan, huge." She's from New York.
Yeah.
Huge Yankee fan, huge Giants fan.
I apologize. I just lost half of your viewers.
No.
Not at all.
No.
You know, sometimes I wonder if there's more Yankee fans in Vermont than Red Sox fans. I think it'd be pretty close.
Wow.
Good question. It's a
It
good
really
question.
is.
We should blow the whistle here. Shep is kicking off her own podcast, which is
So Charlotte will be a regular on that podcast as well.
I've been
Wow.
telling her she needed to do a podcast for like ever.
come on. Are you
Forever,
serious?
Forever.
For a year,
Yeah.
she means.
Well, yeah, for as long as I've known you.
Just picking.
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
And the locals, being dialed into the local scene.
Absolutely.
Oh my
That's
God.
the most important thing, is really hitting on the youth and the high school kids in
Sure.
this area.
Right.
And that's what we really need to blast out. But there's a lot. Like, I sat here with him on Friday, and he goes, "There's always something."
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
I go,
and it's changing by the hour.
because here's
Sports.
my thing. What if somebody said to Charlotte and I, "You're not allowed to talk about sports"?
Yeah.
I don't know what we would do.
Talk about our dogs.
Oh, that's a
Well,
good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well,
That's a
that was
good one.
That was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I would get nervous. I mean,
But come on.
she's a great gal, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know, what else will we
Yeah.
talk about?
Not
Right.
much.
You know?
Wow.
I mean,
much.
work stuff, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
But like real people stuff.
you're gonna have so much content.
Yes.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Yes.
So the actual launch date on this thing is we're very close.
We're very close. Yes, we almost got
Very
the
close.
Facebook page up and working, so we're
And you get your
What
logo.
would you say?
You got a logo that's
we're
being made.
in 85% there.
Wow.
Yeah, logo's being worked on.
So we're
Yeah.
hoping to launch this sucker
In-
before May.
Before May at the latest.
May 1st
I'm gonna
at
take
the
a little
latest.
vacation this week, but I would really like to. I'd like to have a big draft night next Wednesday,
Okay.
the night before the actual draft.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Friday after the first night of the draft, we can have a review of it.
Sure.
I mean, I might bring a chart in here and we might predict the first round, Charlotte and I.
Good. Do it.
She's only so if I had her and DJ in here, the only thing they're going to predict is who the Giants are taking and who the Cowboys are taking.
Does she know DJ?
No, but she's going to meet him. She'll meet him.
Yeah.
It's the only conference that counts. I'm just kidding.
Red
To
Sox
me.
fan,
To
Cowboy fan. So if
Ooh.
Red Sox, Cowboys,
Ooh.
Yankees, Giants,
Ooh.
that's going to be wonderful.
I'm seeing right now Ohio State football
Oh, here we go.
might
Sorry.
be sharing the shoe with an NFL team in the coming years. The team,
Which I don't get it.
team is
Cleveland
going to be
Browns.
the Cleveland Browns. The Browns stadium requires major renovations in the coming
Okay,
years,
now I get it.
Okay.
and this it's going to be their possible new home.
All right.
So
Where needs must.
We wouldn't probably wouldn't talk about that at
No,
work. That one
no.
doesn't make the cut, JD.
No.
2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah, that still doesn't make the cut.
I think they're talking about it right now, but nothing's been.
Maybe if we talk to Carter about it, but
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he would-
That's true.
yeah, he would.
That's a good one, actually.
See, Charlotte, this is where I read shit that I have no idea what I'm talking about. 2 of college football's mid-major conferences, whatever the hell that is, will be joining forces ahead of the 2023 season. The Atlantic Sun Conference and the Western Athletic Conference
Oh, yeah, 'cause those are
officially
small ones.
merging.
And what are they going to call it?
The United Athletic Conference.
Okay. These conferences,
Yeah.
these teams jump from conference to conference, and it's all about the money.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So now you're taking 2 smaller conferences and making it bigger.
Heard something.
Making them bigger.
I heard something. Who was the NFL team out of Washington? The
Commanders
Commanders.
sold
got a
the Commander.
For $6
$6
billion?
$6 billion. And I don't know how much he paid for it,
What's going on?
but he needs to get out of the NFL. He's not a good owner.
No, I agree.
It's been a lot of
who is-
harassment at the
Who
workplace.
is the
Yeah.
Washington Commanders? Never heard of them. Shep.
Washington
Well,
Redskins.
Yeah.
Did you hear of them?
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
This
So,
was their first year?
yeah, second.
No, they were the Washington football team.
Oh, that's right. Good one. See?
Billion.
Charlotte knows way
Billion?
more than I.
Was it a typo?
Because here's the thing. When they were the Redskins for all those years, well, forever,
Yeah.
they would sell out. Season ticket holders. I mean, that was one of the biggest tickets, and they're in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
But then it
Great
got in the
sports.
hands of the wrong owner, and I don't think anyone could argue with us on that
No.
one. And he just needed to get out of football. And yeah, now they're the Commanders.
How long did he own the team?
I was going to say 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. Not long.
But is that
Not
too long?
For him, yes.
He should have been out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Adrian Peterson inducted into the Texas Football Hall of Fame, prompting him to address why he chose to leave the state to play his college.
Football at
Football.
Oklahoma.
And do you know why? Do you know what he blamed?
No.
The reason for it? He blamed Texas Longhorns head coach Mac Brown.
Because Mac Brown.
Because if, and he said during his press conference, if you're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at Coach Mac Brown. And then went on to say that basically Brown refused to allow him to compete for the starting role as a true freshman.
So he was on Texas as a true freshman. That I
Yes.
didn't know. I just
Yes.
know him as an Oklahoma Sooner.
Yes. So
Well,
Cedric Benson decided to
Cedric.
come back for his senior year. So they had they had Adrian keep the bench warm for a little while, and that pissed him off.
Well, he went on to be a better running back than Cedric Benson did. Benson wasn't bad, but he was no Adrian Peterson. There's only one AP.
That's in the news today. I mean, there's always fresh football stuff going on.
There always is.
God, look at this.
Like the Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts contract.
Yes. He had
We
ankle
did have.
surgery.
Did we know he had ankle surgery in the offseason?
Yes, I did.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And he's still got $50.1 million a year.
My gosh.
The new highest paid player in
Yes.
NFL history.
blows my mind.
Which blows my mind, too.
The free agency market has gotten insane.
I'm trying to look at my notes because I don't look at the computer screen like him.
5-year,
Yep.
$255 million contract
You said
extension.
how much guaranteed?
But only 179 of that's guaranteed.
Only.
And the rest is incentives?
Yes.
He inked it yesterday with Philadelphia?
Yes, yesterday. Making him the highest paid player right now. Somebody's going to beat that.
He had a high ankle sprain in 2018
Who would you think would beat that
at Alabama.
Okay, so
coming in the next
coming
couple
up
se-
in the
co-
next year or
couple-
so.
next
So
couple
I know
seasons.
Lamar Jackson will not even demand that.
No.
I mean, we're talking about
He's
a
not
kid.
gonna get it.
So Jalen Hurts has had to prove himself a lot
Yeah.
in college and now in the NFL. So I think he's proven himself.
He's got good.
Got his team to a Super Bowl. Drafted in the second round when everyone was like, "Why are they drafting him?"
Yep.
Lamar won't want that, and he's not worth that yet. Joe Burrow,
Oh, okay.
how's that?
Yeah. I
Joe
could see
Burrow?
that. I could see that.
But here's the thing with Joe Burrow, another young quarterback
he's
that's
young,
proven
yeah.
himself. He's not going to want the team to sink too much money into him and lose a Jamar Chase or a T. Higgins. So he's not going to want to screw up the other contracts. Do you not believe me?
No. I agree. It brings me to a different contract that I think about that almost screwed the Giants.
And it still might.
And it still might. They're right under the salary cap, and they still need players. And
Right.
I just think that the bar was so low. You know how I
Well,
feel about him.
So if Jalen Hurts is going to get $50 million a year, JD, Jalen Hurts, who went to a Super Bowl
Yeah.
this year,
He's got some hardware in the ankle.
he does. But the New York Giants have a quarterback in his fourth year. His name is Daniel Jones, and he hasn't proven a whole lot yet. He got $40 million this year. And Charlotte can tell you how good he is. A lot
good
of
is he,
Giant
Charlotte?
fans can tell you how good he is.
She knows her shit. By the way.
Literally the first 3 years, and he did go through a couple of coaches, right?
He did.
He did. So it's
did.
hard. But literally, like, the bar coming into this season was like, don't fumble it in an open field.
That
Yeah.
literally.
That
yeah.
was literally the bar for him.
It was.
And so he had a healthy Saquon Barkley, which helped
He
him out
did.
a lot.
Good running game.
And then
will
now
always-
he's got a good coach. You always hype up Dable.
I hyped up Coach Dable and said you will see
But-
Daniel Jones have his best year.
Yes,
which
but
he did.
if you look at the plays that Daniel Jones made, any rookie quarterback could make those plays. Like, I feel like Dable dumbed down his
dummied the offense a little.
dummied
Dummied it down.
and
That's a
listen,
good one, JD. You must like
She's
that.
blowing my mind right now.
And listen, they didn't have wide receivers, so
They did
he worked with what he had. But if his $40 million contract messes up with Barkley, like, if he doesn't have a good running back, every time Barkley got shut down, we lost the game, and it was terrible. It was
So now Barkley has not signed
He
his
hasn't signed yet.
franchise.
he hasn't
contract.
signed yet.
And he could walk if he,
He
wants
could walk.
to.
He should walk. I mean, I wouldn't blame. I
The
don't want him
Dolphins
to.
could use him.
I don't want him to walk. You know this. I love him.
Oh,
but I
Sa-
don't. I
who
would
do- how do you not like
I would not
Saquon
blame him
Barkley?
if he walked. I mean, he had his best year yet. He stayed
Yeah.
healthy,
Yeah, he was on my fantasy team.
and yeah,
Rock star.
amazing. But I don't.
Here
blame
we
him
go
if he-
though. Shelf life.
Right. He's getting
a
yeah.
running back.
Yep. He only has.
So you know they're
couple-
not going to give him a lot of years.
Yep.
They're not going to give him a lot of money. What's the
But then-
average that they give a running back? At the most, it's like
10.
10 million. Right, right. Jalen Hurts just got $50 million
know.
a year, and the Giants are not going to give Barkley. It would have to be a short-term contract.
Yeah.
Like a 3-year.
Yeah.
3-year, 24. He would do it because I think he's very faithful to the organization.
Because they stuck with him through his injuries.
Exactly.
They stuck him, yeah.
And not a lot of athletes are going to do that. Highest bidder, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You can bring in Ezekiel Elliott. How's that?
No.
Okay. It's too bad.
You guys are blowing my mind.
Now do you know why she's going to be my right-hand person all
This
the
is
time?
like us on a daily.
This is amazing to hear you two. But the off-season training program starts next week.
Yes, it does. Yep. Yeah, because you want to know who's going to be there. Now we're really going to shift into Charlotte's wheelhouse. Is DeMar Hamlin
Oh, yes.
has been cleared to play, and we were talking about that. 3 months.
Yeah.
24 years old. 3 months after this all went down, and he's been cleared to play. How do you feel about that?
Ooh,
And he's talking about the medically, there's some diagnosis or something right
It
now.
is.
What's the diagnosis?
That's the diagnosis right there. I'm going to let you say it. Have you ever heard of that?
Commotio cordis?
Yes.
Yes.
It's basically, and a lot of, actually, it's really sad. A lot of young athletes actually die from this, right? Because there's not,
Thank you for saying that.
like a nationalized, like you must have an AED on site. And
Right.
so if like a kid gets hit in between like this nanosecond in between a heartbeat,
Yeah,
it
it's the rhythm of the heart.
It
Yeah.
disrupts the flow, the
That's
electrical
amazing.
pulse of the heart, and then
Isn't that mind-boggling?
they go into cardiac arrest.
Condition which an abnormal heart rhythm, ventricular,
Yep.
fibrillation, and cardiac arrest happen immediately upon an object, usually something that's a hard hit like a baseball or a hockey puck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Strike the chest directly over the heart
Yeah.
at a critical time during
Has to be a hard
heartbeat.
physical blow, but right in that window. That just blows my mind.
Yeah, and he dropped like a tree.
He did.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I think more than
Amazing.
that, it's just like the time that he was down, right?
Right.
And how much oxygen is getting, right? And
Sure.
that's what they were so concerned about, is how much oxygen is getting to his brain.
Right. Right.
Have we heard anything more about that? Because I remember there was so much chatter about that. Have we heard anything more about that? That there's been any long-term residual?
I don't. I thought he was cleared
Damage
in
or
every
anything?
aspect.
Yeah, I think
but
he's
could be
cleared.
wrong.
But I mean, so much of like brain stuff. So at work, I am an OT, and I do a lot of neuro rehab, and so much of the brain, and we'll chat a little bit about this, is it all adds up.
Yeah.
It all
Right.
adds up. And so just because you're not necessarily seeing the consequences now,
Right.
doesn't
Right.
mean you're going to see them.
Right.
You're not going to see them in like 20 years.
Sure.
And then I had sent Lori a video of, I forgot who it was, but just talking about how hard it is for these NFL players to get disability once, right? Because they're retired by 40 at the latest. And that's,
that's a
QBs.
great career.
And that's like
that's
a QB.
That's
right?
a QB.
Who's not getting hit
A
all
running
the time.
back, 30.
Right? And so they have a lot of physical and cognitive issues
Sure.
most of the time afterwards. And he just goes and says how hard it is for them to find jobs or for them to get disability if they
course.
physically can't get work.
Right.
So, like, they're so young, these people.
Hamlin said that this commotio cordis is the leading cause of death of young athletes
Yep.
across
Which is
all
what
Yep.
sports.
Charlotte was
Yeah.
just hitting on.
Because there's not,
Really?
like, a national, like, you have to have an AED on site.
And commotio cordis, I've never even heard it until today.
Yeah.
I mean,
The-
it's nothing
the-
you've really.
Yeah, and the thing with that is,
heard.
as the fastest that you can get that heart rhythm beating, the better outlook they have.
Right.
Like, I'm surprised
So
with
that's
him being
staff
down for
what-
like half
right.
an hour
Yeah.
Right.
that he
Did you know he
recovered
was
so well.
he was coming out at the Super Bowl? Did you know that was going to happen?
I didn't know that, no.
Were you just blown away, or
Yes.
wasn't
yes.
that incredible?
I think
Yeah.
the other thing was Buffalo's home game after this all happened, they returned the kickoff for a touchdown to start the game off. And I'm like, well, there you go. You know, it just, I hope we never see anything like that
Right.
happen ever again on
Yeah.
any athletic field.
Right.
Ever.
But ever. And I
was hard
wasn't
to
even
wa-
watching the
Yeah.
game when it happened.
Yeah,
I
it was
wasn't
hard
even
to watch
watching
football
it.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after, it was very hard. I was saying today, I don't know who I was saying this to, but I was like, how do you go out there? I get it. It's the sport he loved. He's played it since Pop Warner. He's played it since he's old enough to run. It's all he knows.
Right.
So I get wanting to go back out there.
Sure.
But I'm just going to speak for me. I would have a hard time.
Yeah.
I'm a defensive back. That's what he
Sure.
plays. So those receivers are constantly flying at you. Running backs, if they get past the first and second level of the defense, they're coming at you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. You're coming head on to me. I don't know if I
Can you
could
be
go
the
in
same
for
player?
the tackle
Can you
and
be the same
player?
player? Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm going to tackle you this way instead of this way, and that's going to make you the player you never ever have been. And maybe he can do that. I couldn't. And if I'm his family, wife, mom, friend, I'd be like, I'm going to cringe every time. But I get wanting to step back out on the field. I get it.
Sure.
It's all they know.
Yeah.
And that led me to like in football, if they don't get their degrees, and it's everything that you just said, Charlotte, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
And I think it's worse in college basketball because you only have to go to college for 1 year and you can go into the NBA. At least in football, there's 7 rounds of a draft for you to try to get drafted and make a team. That's 270 picks. When the draft is you're going college basketball to the NBA, it's 2 rounds.
Yeah.
It's like 50 to 60 picks.
Yeah.
And if you don't get drafted, your chances are pretty.
And then the average,
Nil.
I think like the average career of a football player is like 3 to 5 years.
Right.
And they're not making that much money those first
Right.
couple years outside of
Right.
like, the big quarterbacks
Right.
and the wide receivers. So like really.
You want to know who is making money in the NFL, and I gotta say I love this, and it started up a good 5-8 years ago. Is offensive tackles.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, growing up in the 70s, we didn't even know their name. We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't know the offensive tackle, center guard.
Yeah.
And if you look at free agency, these guys, I think it was Orlando Brown, Mike McGlinchey, they're getting like 75 million, 60 million. I'm not kidding you.
Wait, really?
Offensive tackles, they protect the quarterback,
Okay.
Yes.
who are getting 50 million a year now.
Sure. Right.
So it's about time.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
And to be honest, they're the ones that do all the blocking.
Yeah,
They're the
right.
ones that do all the grunt work.
Right.
yes.
Half the time we don't know their
Strong
name.
O-line.
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
A quarterback can't
changer.
read their progressions
Yeah.
unless those guys are protecting.
Yeah. Game
Shep,
changer.
Them.
You know that I don't know much about sports, but wasn't it? Please correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am.
Or Charlotte will.
Wasn't it right around this time last year that there was so much talk about all of these concussion protocols that we're going to be going into the season? We're going to be watching all players like a hawk. We're going to have
Absolutely.
the magnifying glass on all of you. Every time you get up,
100%.
we're going to watch
It
and
was
see
in bright lights,
how
neon
quickly
lights.
you get
Yep.
up. Are you going to stumble? How fast are you moving?
She just did that in her chair because she's getting amped up.
What,
right
the
now.
sitting up part?
She's getting amped up about the subject you're hitting
All right.
on.
I don't know anything about the subject, TBIs and all that. This is what I know. And I could be way off base. It just seems like, and I didn't watch a lot of football this past season.
You
it just,
did, though.
It just seemed like there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of talk about that during this season, like they were leading up
Like
with.
they were building it up,
We're
too.
going to be watching.
Yeah.
Everybody's under a magnifying glass,
Yep.
and then I didn't really see or hear a lot about that.
Yeah.
Am I off? Am I wrong?
You are right on.
Yeah.
My God,
I mean,
where's my
outside.
bell? I'm
Dang
right
it.
about
Yeah.
something in sports.
No, you
I mean,
are
outside
right
of
on.
Tua.
So Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback of the Dolphins,
Yes.
he's the one.
Yes.
So, I mean, I thought
other
she was
than
going to
that-
kick my tail when I got to work because she's like, Did you see him stumble? And I'm like, I saw it. And I may be a Dolphin fan, but you don't ever want to see a player.
No.
And he went back in
The second
to
half.
that Buffalo game.
Yeah, it was week
correct?
3 against Buffalo. So
And that's where he literally looked like a rag doll. He went to stand up and walk normal, and he just
stumbled.
stumbled,
Yeah.
and there was nothing. He just
Yeah.
flopped.
Yep.
And he went back into the football game in the second half.
He blamed it on back spasms, which
Wow. Interesting.
Would you have said that watching the game? That he must be having back spasms.
No.
Did that ever come into your
no, because you literally see his head hit the
Logic.
ground
right?
right before that. He
Right.
gets up right away. He pops right up, and then just like all of a sudden, boom, he's down.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that other player, like keeping him up.
Right.
Yeah.
So then he comes back, plays in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it was the next game.
It was literally the next week. No, it was a Thursday to Sunday.
Right.
Was it
right.
a Thursday to? No,
A
Sunday.
Sunday to
Sunday
Thursday.
to Thursday. Yeah.
Sunday to Thursday, and they carry him out on a stretcher that game, correct?
Yep. Because he had the fencing posturing
Yep.
after being.
And
hit.
that's when
was that?
I mean,
beginning of the
explain
game?
that to me.
The
because-
fencer posturing?
Yeah.
It's caused often by a hit to the brainstem. So the brainstem is the most primitive part of your brain, and you'll see this reflex often sometimes in toddlers. It's one of the reflexes that we look at. But yeah, it's hitting the brainstem, and then it causes that primitive part of the brain to take over.
So he literally was like this.
Yeah,
basically
in his face. Yeah,
it was just staring, and it was
That's
it was awful.
And then it was only after that second hit where he had the posturing that NFL added they updated their concussion protocol to add in stumbling, so motor
Good point.
coordination issues.
But it took that.
Yeah, but
It
that's what
took
it
that,
said. They didn't
and-
do it until that. And then they also fired their
right.
neurologist.
Yep.
they did.
They
Yep.
fired the neurologist.
They should have hired Charlotte. I may have to call the Dolphins up and tell them.
And then
Then it came back to the forefront. But
yeah, but then also he came back in what, like 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Was it even that long?
no, it was quite a while.
Okay.
It was quite a while.
Like 5 weeks, I think, something
but
like that.
we continue to say, here's another young man who's 26.
And then he gets another concussion week 18
Yep. So he shouldn't even
against
be
the
playing
Packers.
football.
Wow.
But I watched a news conference with him the other day, and he's like, oh, I feel great. I'm lifting weights. I feel stronger. And every hit they show, like on ESPN, he goes to the ground because you're getting hit by a very strong 270-pound middle linebacker.
Yeah.
He hits the ground, and he hits the ground. He's going to hit the ground again this year.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Yeah. And we always say it's not how bad that initial concussion is. It's always after multiple concussions, right?
Right.
So
Right.
anytime you have an injury, right, you sprain an ankle, it swells up, right?
Yeah.
Because your body's sending inflammation to the area to help heal the tissue. Same thing happens with head hits. And the difference between a concussion versus a traumatic brain injury is concussions don't show up on imaging. So no brain damage on MRIs or whatnot.
Gotcha.
Versus TBIs, you start seeing different changes in the brain. But what you don't see is that the brain is still sending inflammation to the area, which is good because it's going to heal those tissues.
Yeah, it's accumulating, right?
Yes, but and then your body will eventually, clear out the inflammation, and that's sometimes. Anyway, it's that multiple. I can't think of the word.
It's all right. I'm
Darn.
with you.
Exposure to that neuroinflammatory response that you start seeing longer recovery times.
Right.
You start seeing where even after your brain has recovered, the inflammation is cleared after a couple months, your brain has trouble getting back to using those pathways that it was using before the concussion. And then keeps happening, and I've worked with people who are not the same after that 4th or 5th concussion. And that's when you start talking about like CTE, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And you hear about these football players from the 70s and
Yes.
what happens later on in life.
Yeah.
And some of
What
them take their lives. You know, it's awful.
Or Hernandez, right?
Yeah. Or Hernandez Jr. Seau was another one.
Yeah. A.B. Brown is still,
Yeah. A Hall of Fame
Antonio Brown is still
linebacker,
going
but
crazy.
just to
Changes.
say that it changes them.
Yeah.
I hate to use the term, but it's like their brains are scrambled. They just can't function.
Amazing.
And in the 70s, they played through everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a broken finger?
Oh, my God.
It's bent this way. Well, I'm going to go back in the game.
Yeah. They
I
didn't
was
know much about concussion.
Watching a thing on Earl Campbell years ago, and he was an outstanding running back for the Houston Oilers. Now I'm going back ways. And again, the shelf life of a running back is like 8 to 10 years. So let's say now he's in his 50s or 60s. That poor man, they followed him for a day. Watching him get out of bed broke my heart.
Really?
Yeah.
Just getting up, sitting on the edge of the bed. He had a special van with the big steps, but just getting down those like bus steps, just getting up and down those 2 steps with a cane. It took him quite a bit of time, and it was just heartbreaking to watch because what did that guy do for 10 years? He entertained the living daylights out of all of us.
Exactly.
And I thought he was one of the greatest, football players of all time, which he was. But then look
At
at
what
him
cost?
now.
Yeah. At what cost?
Lori Shepard is our guest tonight on Aired Out. She's starting up her own sports podcast called The Four Quarters.
The Four Quarters, and we're going to try to keep each subject to 4 quarters, meaning 4 quarters in a football game, 4 quarters in a basketball game, so on and so forth.
Good freaking luck.
Yep. And it's Tanya McCauley that's putting me up to the challenge.
McCauley's going to screw it up immediately.
She's like, have it called 4 quarters, have 4 subjects a night, and stay in a 15-minute window each quarter.
We could talk one game.
Hello.
And go over that.
Thank you.
So I need you to sound the horn every 15 minutes, okay?
Who's keeping track of time?
Yellow flags.
You. Yellow flags.
are
Throw
flying
it at me. JD's going to throw it at me. And Tanya, when she said, I think it should be 4 quarters, I'm like, well, it's going to cover all sports. Yeah. College, professional, high school. We're going to bring the high school athletes to the forefront. And she said, just call it 4 quarters. I know that's basketball and football, but you can hit on all the sports. But every time I give you one drill to do in practice and tell you to do it for 10 minutes, I'm at the other end of the basketball court.
That tracks.
So she looks down and she's like, 10 minutes. And I'm like, I just need 5 more minutes. Yeah. And 20 minutes later, she's like, I can feel the laser eyes coming down that end of the court. God. And I'm like, oh, you guys, I think we should stop the drill now. So, trying to put me in a... If I don't, then I'm put in the penalty box.
Right.
I don't know what kind of penalty I'm going to have to serve, but...
We should put wager on that like we did. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we do 1 quarter and, can it be 15 minutes?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what it is going to be is amazing. It's going to be an amazing podcast.
You're going to kill it,
She's
Lori.
going
She's
to
just
be
warming up right now. This is nothing.
And look, I got people like this.
Every day.
I know.
I get to see it every day.
She's going to be my Stefania Bell, who she didn't know who that was, and I know you don't know who that is. But
I'm too young, Lori.
She's a therapist on NFL Live or Fantasy Football Today. It's on ESPN.
She's a PT.
She is a PT, though. Yes, not an OT. Boy, did I learn a lot tonight. So they had her on just to talk about injuries. Yeah. Fantasy football. How long's your quarterback going to be out? She'll tell you. Mm-hmm. So she became extremely famous worldwide as the therapist, but now she knows everything about football. So fantasy football, she's all over that.
Wow.
That's this one.
Because, everyone's looking to make to set up their team, so they have to know who's injured how bad it is.
Exactly. Right? Do I have to pick up a quarterback off of waivers? Charlotte's going to tell us. You go pick up quarterback? You probably should, because he's out 8 weeks.
I'm going to drag Frankie in here when Charlotte's here.
Oh, my God.
Got to drag him in.
You have Giants attire, right?
I do.
You got to wear the Giants attire.
Did you show her the video?
No, but I'm going to remind me to show you the video on Thursday.
Okay. You're not going to be here. You're going to be in Florida on Thursday.
I'll send you the video.
You have it, right?
I do, because I watched it after you and I watched it here in the studio. You sent it to me. I watched it again.
Who's his football team?
Cowboys. And in the video, you're going to think he has a helmet on. It's actually a flannel fleece winter hat, but it looks like a football helmet.
It's in the shape of a helmet. It's got the cage in the front too.
It's amazing. I want one of those hats. So they were in a Hyundai commercial.
Yeah.
And he's throwing the football to, you're going to love it. He's throwing the football to JD, and he's in the Hyundai car trying to catch it while he's driving.
The Hail Mary.
Yeah, the Hail Mary, and he's got a Eagles jersey on of a Jeremiah Trottier that he doesn't even know who that is, but somebody sent him the jersey.
Wow.
So he's got the Eagle jersey on.
And a Patriots hat.
Oh, and a Patriot hat, which you can't do that, by the way. But I think somebody told you that already.
Yeah.
You can't do that,
You can't do that.
Is it like sacrilegious
to
do that?
Have one team that you cheer for.
Right.
But you know what the other thing is? It's when people cheer for the same team in, like, just as an example, somebody says to me, oh, I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan. And I'm like, that's great, wonderful. Well, yeah, but I also like the Carolina Panthers or something.
You can't do that.
They're in the same division.
You can't do that.
I'm
that's not... That doesn't make sense.
I mean, there isn't anything engraved in stone, but there is.
But that doesn't feel right.
Right?
You know, it's one of those things that, like, there's nothing wrong technically with it, but it just doesn't feel right.
It would be like you saying, oh, but I also like the Cowboys.
No.
Right? That's like a cardinal
sin.
Is it
like putting a Ford emblem on your Chevy?
Yeah, or on your
How can
Volvo or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
USA Today Sports just came out today with the news of who officially is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Really?
The most accurate
Like today, right now.
the
Okay.
most accurate since 1999.
Oh, since
99.
1999.
But
you're
are
going
they-
back a long ways there, my
Well,
friend.
you know.
Wheesh,
Ooh, that's tough.
1999.
well, we're
Are they
all going to
still- are
say
they still
Tom
playing?
Brady.
Yeah, are they still playing?
Yeah, they
Yep.
can't.
They're still playing.
Yep.
Mahomes.
The best and the most accurate quarterback since at least 1999. No quarterback has a higher career
QB
completion
rating, right?
percentage
Completion rate?
than this guy. No one.
And you're 100% sure they're still playing.
This is the RBSDM stats.
It almost.
It's not the Charlotte Lori stats, so then I
No.
don't know. I don't know about that. Geez. You say Pat Mahomes?
I don't know.
You want me to give you a clue? You love this man.
I do?
Josh Allen.
Who? I love him?
Yes.
Are you being
Troy Aikman.
No.
Oh, he's still playing today.
Still playing.
Jesus, I just
I was
screwed
like,
that one up
what?
royally.
Wow.
Pat Mahomes.
No.
I'm going with Charlotte's. Who?
Allen? Josh Allen?
No. Nope. I wouldn't have said Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Because I can't
No.
stand him, so I thought you were being facetious.
No.
That was where I went with that one. He's still playing today?
Yeah.
You love him?
His
Now I have to go through every team.
his completion percentage 70.2%.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Doesn't give us much though.
And he's still playing? Say it one more time, Lori. Yes, he's still playing. And I love him? Yeah, give me... Oh, that was your hint, wasn't it? You love this man.
Joe Burrow.
Oh,
I was gonna say
Jesus.
Burrow. I was gonna say Burrow too.
Never.
I was gonna say
Never
Burrow.
was gonna
I was gonna
say
say
him.
just because
I do
I know,
love him.
Just
I
because
know
I
you
know
do.
you love him, not because I thought he was the most accurate QB
Yeah.
at all.
Really?
70.2%.
I'm going to write
With
that
a-
one
with a
down.
minimum-
70.2.
With a minimum of 750 plays.
JB, Joe Burrow,
Mm-hmm.
the man, the legend.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's why he's gonna get the next
Next,
biggest
he's going to get $50
biggest
million a year.
contract, right?
Or
That's what
he
you said?
should.
Do
But
you-
he's a team player. I'm going to pull
Yes,
that
he
back.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think he would be even more dominant if he had a better offensive line?
Well, let me tell you. No, let me find my thing. The number one offensive tackle in free agency this year, Orlando Brown from the Chiefs, who was protecting Pat Mahomes, is
Wow.
now protecting Joe Burrow for $60
Wow.
million.
Wow.
That's my favorite free agent signing.
60
That is-
million?
For an
Wow.
offensive tackle.
But what?
But he's protecting his blind side.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
Right here. 4 years,
What a pickup.
$64 million.
What a pickup.
4 years. You'll go 4 years.
Yeah.
With one of the best tackles in the game.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Jawan Taylor leaves the Jags and goes to Kansas City because now he's got to protect
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes for 4 years, $80 million. $80 million, 60 of that guaranteed.
But it's
That's
also
for
pretty,
offensive tackles.
Yeah.
That's
It's also
what- it's-
it's also
it's kinda
pretty
cool, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kinda cool.
It's also because it's a good move for him because he's also going to another competitive team.
Exactly.
Right? So he's not, taking the money to like, oh, but I probably won't be going to the Super Bowl. He's taking the money and,
And
he's
that's the weakest link on the Bengals
Yeah.
is their offensive
Yeah.
line. It is because there's many times that guy was getting sacked last
Oh,
year. He
yeah.
was on his back looking up at the sky.
Oh yeah.
So imagine his completion rate if he can stand up and read the progressions.
Man, the O-line.
Progression 1, boom, boom. He's got 2 stud receivers.
Yeah.
They'll draft a tight end in the first
Are you
round
calling-
because let's
are you calling
remember
him? Are you calling
Yep.
a Bengals?
the tight end is the most important position in the draft this year. Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals will go tight end. No, I'm really going out on a limb with the
The Cowboys.
Cowboys, but I really think the Bengals will.
Yeah.
At what
I can see
point
that.
do you think we've crossed the line of absurdity with how much money is being
We've already
paid out for
crossed.
these commodities?
We'll see next year with Shohei Ohtani.
Because they're not human beings.
That's
they're
a good
They're
one.
commodities.
We'll see next year with Shohei Ohtani
So she's going to go to the base MLB side of it.
because I always go MLB.
Yep. So tell JD about him because he's pretty amazing.
He's the current day Babe Ruth, but not drunk.
Is this, pardon me, but is this the Japanese pitcher
Yes.
that
Yes.
everyone was talking about?
and outfielder and DH. So he does it all.
I cannot say his name. Please don't even.
Otani. Just
Ohtani.
remember
Nope,
Otani.
Nope.
Shohei?
Nope. Nope. I have to.
Do we have a nickname?
It's all
No.
phonetics.
Okay.
think so.
All
So,
right. Everyone just calls
but
you
go
think-
ahead.
You think he's going to be?
He's going to be like a $60 million man. Easy. So that
Yeah.
is Judge the biggest contract right now?
Yeah, and where is he at?
40 million?
40.
He's 9 years, 360.
So you think Otani will go to 60 mil? Or do you think
10 years, 60 mil. 60 million a year.
For what team?
For
Probably
the
because he'll be a
Dodgers?
free agent. Probably the LA Dodgers.
Dodgers.
They have that kind of cash to throw around. If not, possibly the Mets.
Yeah.
Well,
I always
okay.
Not
say
going out on a limb there.
but you know what? Here's my
New
thing.
York or LA?
And he said he's open to moving coasts because when he first moved over here, he only wanted to be on the West
West
Coast. Makes
Coast.
sense. He's closer to home.
And he's playing on the West Coast right now.
Better, yeah.
Yep.
And so, but he says in this new contract that he's open to going to the East Coast.
Do you think he is, or is that driving up his? Oh, I'll
He's
get the Yankees and the Mets involved
with,
in this.
With Machado extending his contract, he is like the last. He's like the
is that your
only
fan
big
club
bat.
that just went?
He's like the only big bat on the free agency market this year,
And
and he pitches.
And
And
I
he's
was
a
gonna
number-
say-
I mean, he's a number one.
he
pitcher.
pitches, and he can hit the living daylights out of the ball.
I wouldn't be surprised. 10 years. I mean, he's a little older, but I wouldn't be surprised. 10
Charlotte's
years.
got a good point. I go all to the football side of it, but Otani, it's
All right.
gonna
He's
gonna
a once.
reset the market.
He's a once in a generation
he
player,
is.
though.
He is.
You said the Dodgers have some cash to throw around.
They do, and they didn't spend big
They-
in free agency this last
And then they're
off
getting rid of
season.
Bauer's contract next
Right,
year.
they're getting rid of some really bad contracts. They'll go off the payroll, off the books per se. They'll back up the Brinks truck for Otani.
And then they have
Yankees-
to
Keep him out there.
and
too.
then they have to compete with the San Francisco Giants.
right.
Yankees
right.
have
And
some
the
cash
Padres.
to push around too.
They do.
I
But
don't
Judge
see.
took
I
a-
don't see him going into the
I don't
Yankees.
either.
I don't.
Forbes just came
Cashman
out with
sucks.
listing the Yankees as an 18% increase in the value of the team. Number one, most
Really?
valuable team, $7.1 billion.
That's why I
Probably
said.
because Judge.
Yeah, that's why I said there's more Yankee fans in
Yeah.
Vermont than Red Sox fans.
Probably Judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Volpe. Everyone's tuning in to
Volpe
see.
is batting leadoff now. Did you know that?
He needs some
So
protection.
where was he?
He was like
Last?
8 or 9.
8 or
He was-
9.
So he
now he's
needed
batting leadoff.
He needed Judge to protect him.
Because Stanton is out with what again? This is
A
he's
grade
been,
2 hamstrings, a left hamstring strain.
and
Grade 2.
He's been on the IL, DL, whatever you want to call it. Now
Lori, I
for
wrote it
9
down.
Years.
I wrote it down
9
for
years
you.
in a row?
I wrote it down for you, Lori.
9 years.
August to September of 2020, left hamstring.
Okay, hamstring.
May of 2021, left quad strain.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
May
lower body.
again. May of I guess this was last year. Right ankle inflammation.
Okay, there's
and then
3. Lower body.
August of 2022, left Achilles tendonitis.
Oh, Achilles too.
Yeah, yeah. So
And this guy's paid a lot of money as well, just to DH, really.
just a DH.
So that means he doesn't even have to take the field. He's just a hitter. But is that why he's getting all these
yeah.
injuries?
I think so. What happened this past time was like last week. It was like 7th inning. He hits a long drive to outfield. He thinks this is a home run, so he goes into his home run trot.
Right, the
Realizes
slow trot.
realizes it's not a home run and has to hustle to second base. And I think that quick from home run trot to I gotta
Yep.
book it to second base.
So you got to go from second gear to fifth gear.
the
Yeah.
hammy?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked into second, he called the trainers out. Even that night before he had the MRI done, he's like, this is going to be an IL stint. This is not going to be like a week
Yeah.
of rest.
So he's out for months. Not-
Yeah. He's
2,
with a
3,
grade
or
2.
4.
I wouldn't be
'Cause
surprised if
he's
it's like
not
3
a spring
months.
chicken anymore either.
3
He's
months.
getting-
And this is not the first time this has happened, right?
and you can't trade him because who wants that contract? And now all those injuries.
The part that sucks was he was actually hitting.
He was actually hitting. He
He's
was.
hitting.
I mean, we're only 3 weeks in, but he was hitting. He
Yeah.
was living up to the billing a little bit.
Finally.
But DeGrom again.
Yeah.
So
Wrist pain
yeah.
after 3 innings. Did that make you? Did that
Well,
help you a little bit?
here's
Did that
the
make you a
thing.
little happy?
I like DeGrom. I like him a lot. I mean, he chose to leave the Mets, so that kind of sticks a little bit. The dagger goes a little bit in there. He felt it right off the bat in the
Yeah.
first inning. Pitched 3 more innings.
Yeah.
And then said, no hit baseball.
Right.
Did you know that?
Right. Yes.
No hit baseball.
Yes, he was shutting everyone down.
Shutting
so
everyone
it
down.
happened out of nowhere.
Yep. And then he's like, oh, my wrist. Oh, my elbow.
So I have to ask Charlotte something. Speaking of the wrist, and when I hear this, I'm thinking, all right, the wrist.
Yeah.
So we got the Velcro on the left wrist. We need to adjust that 3 times. We got the Velcro on the right wrist. We need to do that 3 times. I mean, tap the dirt out of the left cleat, tap the dirt out of the right cleat, scratch the nads,
Oh, I knew that was coming
adjust-
into this.
adjust the cap, spit off the left shoulder, pick the nose, wipe the mouth, look around, scratch the nads again.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You know, now we've got this pitch clock.
Yeah.
So
Thank God.
it's
I love it.
is it just hurry up with the left wrist and the right wrist and scratch the
It's
nads?
keep your feet in the box.
Okay.
Actually, fun story is Juan Soto. This is why
Ugh.
he's what he's blaming on his poor start. I think he's hitting like one.
Stop it now.
He's on the freeway. He's like hitting like 180 something.
That's a good one because we don't like Juan Soto. I mean, and I say
and
we.
this is
I'm
and
going
this
to
is-
include Charlotte
he's like,
in it too.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's too quick. It's too quick.
Really?
That's what he's blaming on it, or what I've seen. He's like, it just.
And we were talking about how it shaved a good 31
So,
minutes
fun
off
fact.
30 to an hour.
Fun facts is that
Average.
that Red Sox Angels game this past weekend was
2
an
hours.
hour and 57 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I rounded
And
it
it's
to-
not like out of the ordinary. The Yankees
has-
had a game that was like 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So,
love it.
2 hour games.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the throw over. The other thing is the throw over to
Yeah.
first by the pitcher.
So
you can throw over twice, right?
What is this? Younger audience, millennials, shorter attention span. What's going on here?
Well, we can look at that.
What is this?
We can say that, but I
Yeah.
don't even know if the
No.
younger.
What about the commercials? Where is this?
I just think
how are we
because
fitting
it's-
everything into
They,
the pie
they
here?
they even put a time limit on how much time between innings, and it's like 2 minutes and 15 seconds, just enough for the commercials.
For the commercials, because you got to have
Yeah.
your sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we survive, right?
Poor Joe Castiglione. He can't just shoot the shit about nothing
No.
for 10 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
And
The announcers have. Yeah.
They have to
They have to adjust.
pick up the pace. Yes,
Yeah.
they have
do you
to
know how many
adjust.
times people say, though, and I'm just going to go to a story where I said to one of my basketball players 20 years ago, you should try softball. Hell of an athlete. And she's like, all right. So she did. She's like, well, that's the most boring sport I've ever played. People are bored in baseball sometimes because it takes so long.
Sure.
Unless you know the players and follow the teams.
Right.
Like I can't see like someone like people will watch the Super Bowl because you have the halftime show, but it's also like
the commercials.
an action-packed nonstop
Yep.
sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
As
may
is
not
basketball.
they may not know what's going on.
Right.
But you'll watch it. You'll watch a game.
Of course.
Probably,
Exactly.
Probably before you'd watch a baseball game.
Without a question.
Exactly.
How many times have you watched a baseball game?
I've never watched baseball. I've
And you
never
would-
watched baseball.
JD, if
Yeah.
you turned it on after like a half inning, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
How far are we in? Oh, we're a half inning in instead of.
Yeah.
You'd think
I
we were
know.
5 innings in.
Yeah.
But I said to Shep, I'm 52. Have never had any interest in baseball.
Right.
None.
Yeah.
Went to the Mountaineers. Respectfully,
Yeah.
for a creamy and a hot dog, and just to get out in a nice summer night.
Valid.
Yeah.
Of all valid things. This was last summer. Sitting there, and I'm starting to look around, and I'm starting to watch, and I'm like, oh, if he doesn't do this, then that guy's going to do that. If this guy's got to go here, because if this doesn't happen,
if
then
he
that's
doesn't do
how's
this.
that going to happen if this doesn't happen? And this guy's got to get there, and this.
So you started to dissect the game,
Whoa!
and it was fun, right?
It was an epiphany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
I was-
strategy.
Yep.
You know, and Sherilyn's like, all right, we're going to go and get some fried dough. You want to come with?
You better
And I
hope
was
she's not
like,
listening right now.
And
Yeah,
I was
she's
like,
used to it.
I'm like, stop. I need to see what's about to happen here because this guy is over here doing this. He's scratching his nads. What's going to happen next?
That's baseball. That's
you
baseball,
know,
right?
Yeah.
I see the coach there, the first base, second base, whatever it is, whispering. I'm like, oh, he's telling. I wonder if he's telling them to do this, go there, and it's anticipatory.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So it's not. I had to figure that out on my own.
And that's good. And you figured it out, though.
I did. Now I want to go watch them.
See?
There you go.
Now
But please leave me alone, though. If I'm watching, please.
Right. You want to
Don't talk to me.
You want to take it in.
Yeah.
You want
I
to
wanna-
dissect it.
I
You want to
wanna-
see what's happening.
I have to understand what's happening. I have to.
It's a great sport.
It's
It
one of
really
these.
is.
It
It's
really
one of
is.
these.
Yeah.
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 You know.
I have an aunt that could watch baseball every night. Huge Yankee fan.
Oh yeah.
And when baseball season starts, what is it, 162 games, 65 games? She probably watches at least 100 Yankee games. And I can say that confidently.
Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of other rules in MLB right now too.
Yeah, the not allowing the shift. That's the one DJ and I went crazy over.
Not a fan of it. Not a fan of it.
That's strategically
What's that?
you have to
What is that?
remember the shift we were talking about. So if a left hand batter who pulls.
Dumb it down for me,
So
Shep, please.
I'm trying to.
Hits to the right side of the
He
field.
hits to the right side of the field. So third base.
like 90% of the time.
90. Yeah, he's not going to go towards third base, left field.
Okay.
He's a pull hitter. He's going to go right field. So they take the shortstop. And they put him over, kind of shift him over towards second base. Second base sometimes goes out on the grass a little bit.
In the outfield, yeah.
So they're putting the shift on to defend it better, per se. So baseball is now saying you can't do that. So now the shortstop and the third baseman,
Because it's too predictive.
yeah.
It's not enough hitting.
Yeah, and they
hitting,
want more hitting, so you have to stay on that side. You can't cross second base side. You
So they
can't
want the game to be shorter, but they also want it to be more action packed.
They want more stolen bases, which will happen.
which
has
I love.
already happened.
But I love.
But I do like that a lot.
I love that. Yeah.
And they want more They want more hits. Batting averages higher. Let's have scores of 10-9 instead of 2-1.
Yeah.
They don't. That's taken out of the pitcher's hand.
My thing is these are grown men. They're athletes. This is what they've done their whole lives.
Right.
Why can't they make them adjust? I feel like you really make them adjust.
Make them adjust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You get to know. Yeah. See who's
Listen, here's what happened. Now DJ got to tell his little league stories. I'm gonna tell one women's slow pitch softball story. I'm at this big state tournament up in Newport. I get up to bat. I'm a pull hitter. Mm-hmm. I can't even go with the pitch outside, even if it's slow pitch, for God's sakes.
Right.
I can't
You put
even
the bat
tap
out
it.
there.
Right. I don't even do that. So the pitcher makes a point of shifting everybody. My God, the fans on this side of the bleacher even had to shift to the other side of the field. And I'm standing there going, well, good God, how embarrassing. So embarrassed. There's nobody on the right side now. Guess where I hit it? Right to the right side.
Nice.
Really?
Looped
Nice.
it right
Nice.
over. I had a celebration, cartwheels, pom-poms, all the way up first base.
Nice.
I'm like, and I clapped for myself, and I'm not
my
a
God.
cocky
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
I clapped for myself all the way up there. I can't top DJ's Little League one. I can't do that, but
Yeah.
it was embarrassing. Everybody,
allowed
go
to-
this way.
Are you allowed to bunt in slow pitch?
No, you
Oh,
can't
okay.
bunt.
That's why.
No, I wish.
That's why.
I
Yeah.
wish.
I wanted to ask
10
Charlotte.
seconds of fame.
I wanted to ask her. You got 8 seconds, Chef. not 10.
Thank you very
Not
much.
10, it's 8.
Okay.
End of February, Grapefruit League, Red Sox, Braves.
Oh, yes.
That game that ended
See, she
in a
knows
On-
what you're talking
pitch
about.
the pitch
clock
clock.
violation.
On the pitch
DJ
clock.
and I were like, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, even someone who's not into baseball, I'm
Right.
listening to this,
Yeah.
saying, "Shit, this is happening in Grapefruit League.
Yeah.
What happens when this happens during the season? Is it going to happen?"
I mean,
is
I
it
feel
gonna
like
happen?
I feel like the baseball the games that I've been watching, I feel like the hitters, most of them have
Yeah.
adjusted.
I do too.
I feel like the
Except for Juan
violation.
Soto.
Yeah, the violations that I have been seeing, I feel like are more on the pitcher's side, if anything.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's really about managing their
I still don't get
mound visits.
Pete Alonso, and I think it was the first week of the season. I think it was the first game. I thought he was trying to steal second. It was fouled off. So he took quite a while to walk back to first. And he got slapped with something, or the hitter was given a strike.
Yep, because everyone has to be ready by that 8. The offense has to be ready by that 8.
By
second.
that 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And I meant to talk. I didn't talk to you about that.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's weird.
But
that was a few weeks ago.
And I feel like even the pitchers, I mean, it's really just about managing. They have 5 mound visits allowed in a game.
I love that. Too.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry. There's too much.
Yeah, and
much of
then
it.
and then so it's really just if they need a breath or nothing's clicking, just do the mound visit.
So they're just cutting the corners a little bit to speed the game up, but it's not a bad thing.
no,
Yeah.
did you see
The
though?
shift is a bad thing.
The shift is a bad.
The
thing.
shift is very bad.
And then the review is the last thing they put a time.
Like the manager's review.
Yes.
Like yes.
So
and there's
right
a time
away,
limit on that. Yeah.
Right away, they have to put their hand up if this is like a close play. They have to put their hand up, and then they get 15 seconds to look at all of the video footage to see
What?
if they want to challenge it.
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
So football needs to do that too. Because after further
100%.
review, they're staring at
100%.
that camera forever.
Well,
Really?
I mean, the review
it
takes.
Oh, we go to commercial break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it speeds it up nicely.
Yeah.
What would Nomar Garcia Parra do though?
Ooh,
He'd retire.
good
He would
question.
retire.
That's a great question.
I mean, I have never seen anybody, and I know he
Oh,
knew.
please.
He knew.
Yeah.
It had to have been 2 1 2 3. He
Yeah.
in his head.
Yeah.
His
It's
muscle
like he had-
memory was
yeah.
off the
It's like-
charts.
yeah.
Ding ding ding, and then he would do it again.
Yeah.
To the
He's
same
super like
same wrist.
Yeah. Superstitious? I don't
It-
know. OCD?
What is that?
OCD. I
Superstitious?
would give it superstitious too.
Yeah.
So he would retire. We are very superstitious in life, though, too.
That's a great. That was a
Especially ball players.
Yes.
what. Obviously, you have who was it? Noah that's coming up.
Noah McLean.
Does she know about Noah?
Did I
She's-
tell you about Noah?
yes,
I
you
did
told
tell
me.
you about Noah.
Coming up from
and
University of
announcer.
Rhode Island
University of Rhode Island.
for the
and-
Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Announcer.
I'm calling him the voice of the Mountaineers.
Is he going to be on the 4 quarters?
Absolutely.
Was that a dumb question?
No, it's not a dumb question.
Oh.
But I'm going
Everyone's
to
gonna
ask
be
him
on
to
4
come
quarters.
here weekly to give us updates on the Mountaineers.
Will Charlotte?
I'm going to learn
will-
so
will-
much.
Will Charlotte be back on the 4
yeah.
quarters? Was that a dumb question?
No. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
She's already like got
She's
a couple people at work.
I
She's
got a
already
couple more people at work
Yeah.
that are
Full
ready.
of love.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
you have
you-
to have
you-
your right-hand person, left-hand person. It should be Charlotte. She should be on every
Look at
single
the-
time
look-
I'm on.
Look
Yeah.
at the network that she's got.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Macaulay, DJ Hardacre.
It's amazing.
Work-related.
Wait until
Yeah.
till Chris Autry comes in here.
That's my new friend from
I know.
North
I know.
Carolina.
I've seen. It's hilarious.
That it is hilarious.
It's amazing.
He is so funny. And there's another one. He puts them on the air with us, calls them up, and 15, 20 minutes later, I'm like, I feel like I've known this guy forever.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
with you. Like
Yeah.
with you.
Autry's just he'll.
And he
And there's
knows.
one common factor in all of those stories, Lori.
What's that?
It's you. It's you.
Oh.
See that?
Boy,
Right?
I suckered right into that one. I was like,
100%
I thought
though.
she was going to say Joe Burrow
100%
again.
though. No.
I thought we were going to Joe Burrow again. Yes, we all
Default
love
answer.
Joe Burrow.
Default
oh, sorry.
answer.
What sports? Just wrapping up here. What sports will you not be covering in the 4 quarters?
You know what I actually learned today? This got me really amped up. I'm even going to be talking about skiing at the high school level.
out of the wheelhouse for Shep?
It is because I'm
Okay.
not a skier.
Okay.
I'm incredibly transparent.
Yeah.
I skied one time in my life.
Yeah.
Went up to Jay Peak where my aunt lives, took on the bunny slope for a half hour, went down the hill
Sure.
a couple times. I liked it.
You know what I think?
I didn't love it, but I liked it.
You know what
I'm
I think
honest.
doesn't get enough attention? Just going to say, is track and field for high school.
Agree.
This time of year.
Agree.
Yeah.
And tennis.
Agree.
Oh, nice.
I mean,
What athletes?
right?
Exactly.
What athletes?
Of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to put that in my wheelhouse.
I've been up to the Green Mountain Community Fitness up here playing
Yep.
pickleball. Oh my God!
So you are playing pickleball.
trying, Shep.
I'm going to try it
Can't
this
get
summer
from A
as
to B
well.
as fast as I
Can you
used to.
comment one of his pickleball?
I know. I'm going to put the headset on. I'm going to do play-by-play.
Oh
Right?
my
That would
God.
be amazing.
Play-by-play. Charlotte will do
It'll be
color.
it'll be a podcast episode.
Now, when you play pickleball, doubles or singles?
Just me
Or
and-
just having fun?
just me and someone else having fun.
Because I said to a friend of mine who I've known forever, should I do singles or doubles? And she said, with your knees, you got to do doubles. Less court for you to cover. And I think she was being generous. She was being real. She was being
Right.
nice to
This
me.
is true. It's all true.
And it's true.
It's all true.
But is it
hear-
like a big ping pong? It's like
yes,
ping pong.
it's ping pong on steroids.
Yeah.
Have you haven't done it yet?
No, I'm going to do it this summer.
Right.
Okay, please can
Yes.
I? Can
yes.
I?
Yes.
That and
We both
that's
have blown meniscus, so
We
Fair
both,
game.
neither one of us
Fair
has
game.
knees, so yeah.
fair game.
Your ankles are shot too, though.
Shot.
What about the shoulder?
shoulders are garbage. I need 2 new
Shoulders are the stupidest joints ever.
Oh, it's-
Can I just tell you that I was warming up the other day throwing a softball for the first time in a few years?
can't do it.
And I was
Stupidest.
firing it in there.
Oh.
And I said, come Monday, I'm not going to be able to lift my arm.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You want to know why? Because I work out with Charlotte.
No.
I think
have-
I'm strengthening up. My body's getting stronger.
John
At
Macy
57.
has gone into both shoulders and fooled around in there.
Oh, Macy.
Yeah, John Macy, amazing. I have no labrums. I have no cartilage in my shoulders. Crunch, crackle,
What have
crunch,
you
crackle.
done to your body over
I
the
need
last
to-
50?
Well, there's a story about that. But
Oh, okay,
I,
for another.
I need 2 new shoulders. I'm supposed to get 2 new shoulders.
It's a rough-
Can't sleep.
It's a rough.
Can't
yeah.
get comfortable.
I was going to say, how do you
Can't
sleep?
do much without
You
pain.
should see me go downstairs.
Yeah, you can't do
Pathetic.
much without pain. Yeah.
Just like Shep.
I'm telling you, you
Sideways.
do hit an age
Don't
where...
you laugh at me, Charlotte, because you're going to be old someday
I already,
like me.
Man, I already feel
And
it.
remember, when I want to do cardio, nobody will do cardio with me.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
that's
do-
boring,
can we do
Shep. That's
cardio?
boring, Lori. I don't want to do cardio.
Oh my God.
I was. It's nothing about
so
you.
important. It's
I do the
Listen.
cardio. My workout partners do not because they're bored with it.
Reps of like 8 on squats. That's my cardio.
Look, remember the deadlift where you had your weight on the bar?
Yeah.
Let's just remember that going forward. Yeah. We had to take like 80 pounds off for me to be able to lift it. Just tuck that in your wheelhouse.
I'm closer to the ground, so it's a little bit cheating.
Just hit my head
Will
on the
you-
window on that one. I'm closer to the ground.
Will you,
Oh
will
my
you-
God.
Will you talk about golf?
You know, there's another big high school sport that gets no publicity.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Is it
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
up here?
It kind of is. I'm not kidding. It is big up
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I think every high school locally has it. I know they do.
Yeah.
But tennis, when I went to Montpelier High School, tennis was huge. So we're talking in the 80s. They would always win, girls and boys. They're still winning
Yeah.
in 2022, 23.
And no one talks about it.
But no one talks about it. Nobody talks about it.
When's the NFL season going to start?
September.
They've been starting it early.
When is the high school basketball season going to start?
It starts in December.
Okay.
They change it every year. It's like the last week of November. Now they want to go after Thanksgiving. But yes.
She is going to be on fire
Oh my gosh.
During basketball, yeah.
during basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got me
Fire.
invested in a team
Oh, I did.
have no skin in.
That you did get. Yeah.
I got invested. I was going to all of their games. I was
Her-
dragging my dad to the games.
Drags her dad to the game.
And I was like, I knew the players' names already.
She did.
I was like,
I was talking about my team all the time.
all the time,
They'd
throughout
come
the whole
in,
season.
And everybody's amazing at work. They're like, hey, how'd the game go last night?
Yeah.
So then as we got deeper into the season, 3-4 seed, we opening playoff, we got 2 rounds at home if we win the first one. Charlotte was right there, her and her dad. And her dad was great after we had lost. And I ran into him. He's like, next year, Lori, next year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah.
I said, but
But she's going to have refs on?
oh,
Oh,
yeah. It's
yes.
gonna be amazing. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
yes. Because a lot of these officials, these refs, have been around for 20 years like me, around the game.
And
And then we
Cora?
got new ones, and Frank Pecora will be on. I'm really hoping that when we kick this thing off in May, I'm hoping he comes in May. He
right
would be-
off.
He
They
was
have a
my
tough-
athletic director at Northfield.
nice.
It's like a father to me. And he has like you're gonna love this man. It's from Long Island. Okay.
Which
Athletic director, assistant principal, and baseball coach at Northfield High School. He's going to kill me for not knowing the number, but he had somewhere from
He's a small ball guy.
500 to
Is he the-
600 wins.
Is he the small ball guy?
Yes. If he doesn't have big time hitters,
Yeah.
he's like, I'll just play small ball.
Yeah.
So 600 wins in his career, 10, 12 state championships. And if he didn't have big time hitters, he'd play small ball. So one year he was, I'm going to get this wrong, 6th or 7th seed. He still won the championship by playing small ball.
I love. We both love
And big
small
time
ball.
pitchers.
Yeah.
Big time pitchers.
Yeah.
So he retires. And as a coach, you just know when to cut the cord. I thought it was time.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't make the call, he did, but I'm like, good.
Yeah.
What an outstanding career.
Yeah.
So then he starts hanging around Norwich baseball.
Oh.
Within 2 or 3 seasons, he's a head coach at Norwich now.
I mean,
Has been
similar
for the
story.
past 3, 4, or 5 years.
Similar story to you. You thought you
It's
hung
true.
it. You
It's
thought you
true.
hung it up.
Yep. But the head coaching thing. Well, Tanya's got that. I'm glad she lets me hang out with her on the side.
She's just so cut out for a podcast. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So isn't
Oh
she?
yeah. Amazing.
And-
Amazing.
And Charlotte, my God,
Amazing.
I'm telling you.
2 of you.
Stefania Bell, move over. I'm going to be her agent, though, when ESPN comes a-calling or YouTube or
It's-
whatever. I'm learning all
It's,
this.
it's going to be
Thanks
absolutely.
for joining us. It's
incredible.
not the last
Thanks.
time, though. It's
Yeah.
the first time.
This is fun.
See?
It's like we do this every day.
Once
It's
you
like- it's
do
almost-
this once,
It's almost like we do this every day, Lori.
You're so hooked already, Lori.
oh, I am.
Right?
Isn't
Yeah.
she?
Amazing.
I can remember the first time I came in here, though, with Michael Deering. I
Yeah.
got to tell you, JD, I sat in this seat, and I don't even think I was breathing.
Yeah.
My mother told me that. She watched it, and
Really?
she goes, "You were a nervous wreck." And I'm like, well, I was just, I was nervous. I
She
was
left
nervous.
me a Post-it on my computer in the morning because we had talked about her having a podcast like way before this, and then when you were invited in the morning, I just see a Post-it. I booked my first podcast gig.
Nice.
I was so excited. Yet I sat here going, my God, it's really hot in here.
Yeah.
My God, I can't breathe right now. I was nervous. But you made me so relaxed, you and Michael Deering.
Yeah.
And every time I've sat in this chair, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I
It's been
forgot
amazing.
we were doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I told you when you came in here. So
was like-
you're about to have so much fun. You don't even
And you
realize
probably
it.
didn't sleep last night, did you? You studied.
Oh yeah,
I like the sweatshirt too, by the way. Nicely done.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shep.
Thank you, JD. You're awesome.
Quarters, the Four Quarters podcast. It is coming soon,
Let's go.
and it's coming
Let's go.
right here
I'm
to
ready.
North Main Street, Barrie, where we are live from Fly on the Wall Productions. Thank you both, ladies.
Thank
so
you,
much.
JD.